Linda Garcia, New London, Texas. My New Year's resolution, to be a better mother, better wife, and better partier.
My name is Gretchen. I'm calling from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I want to make a resolution for this holidays to get away from drugs and drinking. I've given up the needle now for 3 months, and hopefully that this year will be better for me.
My name is Brenda Brooks. I'm from Washington, D.C., and my New Year's resolution is to lose weight, 20 pounds that is, and to go back to school.
Coming up next on Channel 4 News at 6, South Florida's big news. America pressures the Vatican for Noriega. South Florida relief effort shifts into high gear.
Florida's freeze means an assault on your wallet as some produce prices take off. And live from New Orleans, the hurricanes in the Sugar Bowl.
These reports and much more tonight on Channel 4 News at 6. Next.
This is WTVJ, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Susan Lichtman, Steve Abrams, Cliff Morrison, weather, Tony Segreto, sports, Bob Mayer, business. This is the Channel 4 News, South Florida's big news.
Good evening. The battle intensifies tonight in Panama, not for the streets, but for General Manuel Noriega. The U.S. applying tough diplomatic pressure on the Vatican to turn Noriega over. Our big story coverage begins tonight with Channel 4 News reporter Jose Diaz-Balart, who is in Panama City.
Panama's new president, Guillermo Endara, today said General Noriega should not be granted political asylum anywhere.
He's a common criminal of the worst kind. He has been accused, justly accused, of homicides and narco traffic and other very, very horrendous crimes.
Endara says his government is not involved in any negotiations that have to do with General Noriega and hopes the Vatican will not let him stay at its embassy here for long. The Vatican, for its part, said today it would not hand Noriega over to U.S. authorities.
As General Noriega continues to be holed up in the Vatican embassy behind me, there are persistent reports he may be about to leave Panama and be given asylum in either Cuba or Nicaragua.
Noriega's future is the talk of the town today as people here try to return to normalcy. The downtown market area is again packed with shoppers. GIs also continue to man roadblocks, and they still find and arrest Noriega's men. Those lucky enough to get in these camps receive basic medical care, clothes, and food. Even so, for those who lost it all, life here is extremely difficult, and many say they are planning to leave Panama and go to the United States as soon as they can. Jose Diaz-Balart, Channel 4 News in Panama.
Also today, the Army announced that Army Reserve volunteers from South Florida will leave for Panama this Friday. They will help the Army reestablish order and bolster the new civilian government. Steve?
President Bush took time from his holiday break to comment on the Noriega stalemate. The president announced he's personally involved in negotiations to take Noriega from the Vatican embassy in Panama, but he would not make any predictions. Mr. Bush also praised the people involved in the invasion, calling it a textbook example of a military success.
You ought to study it and learn from it because it was an amazingly well coordinated, superbly executed operation.
While some Latin American countries don't agree with the president's assessment, Mr. Bush says he is not going to let that bother him. He plans on staying in close touch with Panama, but says he won't let it interfere with his vacation. It began just this week, but tonight South Florida's effort to help the Panamanian people is rapidly expanding. Our big story coverage continues with Channel 4 News reporter Eliana Bravo.
Panama is a country starting from scratch. The nation's collective cupboards are bare. In some cases, entire food stores and businesses are wiped out from the shelling. In others, looters finish the job. South Floridians are coming to the rescue of their Latin neighbors to the south. From the biggest to the smallest donations, a community is pitching in.
I brought it because it's my country. Now we have a problem. So I bring just rice and tuna, but it's something to help.
The relief effort was launched by Spanish-language radio station WQBA.
Most of these scenes were brought by listeners of the radio station,
But station representatives say some of the big Latin food chains have made multi-thousand-pound donations of rice and canned food.
This is one more time that we are seeing that really the Hispanics in the market of Miami, we are all united.
This is why it shows that we all get together, we all bind together for one cause, liberty, democracy, and the future of our countries.
Well, you can see here, we're planning to fill it up one plane.
Eastern Airlines is donating a 727 to carry about 35 tons of supplies into Panama tomorrow morning. Other flights might be necessary to handle the heavy load of donations. This is only a start in a long process to rebuild the country, but already local Panamanians are expressing their gratitude. This handwritten sign simply says, "Panama thanks you." Ileana Bravo, Channel 4 News, Miami.
A gruesome discovery tonight at Miami International Airport. The body of a stowaway was discovered wedged inside the rear door of an Eastern Airlines jet. Police say the flight from Barbados touched down, the passengers got off the plane, and the body wasn't found until the ground crew began to clean the plane. The victim was in his early 20s, and police say the cause of death is still under investigation.
Florida's deadly freeze is tonight taking aim at consumer pocketbooks. Orange juice futures on commodity exchanges rocketed upward today, despite the fact that full damage figures aren't yet in. The full impact, I should say, on juice prices probably won't be known until the federal government releases citrus crop estimates January 11th. Central Florida's citrus crops could benefit South Florida growers. They say wholesalers from across the state might be looking here for oranges and grapefruit.
As far as I can see, in Indian River and in Palm Beach County and Broward County, there might be little spots of damage, but the majority of the citrus crop is in good shape.
Many Florida citrus farmers moved to southern counties after the Christmas freeze of 1983. That move apparently paying off. Paying out, that's what Florida consumers will be doing for their produce starting today. Channel 4 News reporter Katrina Daniel says the people who grow, pick, and eat produce will really feel the Florida freeze.
The record-breaking cold wave ravaged Florida's vegetable belt, devastating areas like Immokalee, which depend on crops for their very existence. Even as the freeze wiped out fields and crops, it also erased jobs.
We've been with work list for a week, before the frost and all. See, wasn't that many work, and now with this, it's going to be worse.
Money-wise, work-wise. I don't know what's going to happen, it's just bad.
Growers say the effect of the freeze will soon be obvious at the cash register.
It will just raise the prices on any of the fruit or vegetables.
In fact, strawberries have already tripled in cost. Squash and corn will be next to go up. Another of Florida's multi-million-dollar industries, landscape nurseries, were hurt as well. Despite precautions, many nursery owners saw their plants burned, crumpled, and withered after 3 nights of record-breaking low temperatures. Nursery manager June Eubank says her plants were lucky, but it was planned luck.
What we did was knock everything down on the ground and protect them that way a lot. We kept the sprinklers on all night long, and that's the best we could do.
Not everyone's plants came through unscathed. These are my banana trees, and it doesn't look like they made it. The temptation is to cut them back severely and start all over again, but the plant experts say don't touch them. Plant experts advise you to keep your frozen plants well watered without violating water restrictions. And they say don't trim any frozen plants for 4 to 6 weeks.
Even if the foliage is brown and looks dead, that's protecting the new growth. So do not do any trimming, absolutely.
And for those who took their delicate plants inside to avoid the frost, Eubank says check the forecast before you put them back out. In Miami, Katrina Daniel, Channel 4 News.
This week's cold spell has created an even bigger than normal overload for homeless family shelters. Officials say demand, already high this time of year, increased during the freeze. The Mental Health Association of Dade County operates a 24-hour shelter hotline if you need a place to stay, or the social services. Call 379-4663.
Pompano Beach police believe they've identified a body found floating in a canal yesterday. They believe the victim was an elderly person who walked away from a retirement home. The 56-year-old man was reported missing December 21st. Neighbors say he liked to sit on the canal bank for relaxation. His name won't be released until the family has been notified. Police say they will file no charges against the driver who hit and killed an 11-year-old Fort Lauderdale girl. Patrice Roberts was killed last night as she stepped off a curb and into the path of a car. Her brother was there. He described the driver's reaction.
She turned back around, and then she got out the car and said, "Who child I hit? Who child I hit? Please tell me who child I hit."
Patrice was returning from a store with oil for birthday muffins when she was killed. Susan.
Broward father Alan Hoyton has lost his daughter in a sense. Once charged with abducting her, Hoyton lost custody and was jailed. From our Broward Bureau, Channel 4 News reporter Susan Wallace says Hoyton is freed, but his battle has just begun.
I love my daughter from my heart, you know, and it's beautiful.
Alan Houghton couldn't stop crying as he told his story, the first time he's been able to do so since the nightmare began. 7 months ago, Houghton was picked up on child abuse and kidnapping charges, accused of stealing his then-year-old daughter, Christine, from her mother in Fort Lauderdale. Christine was returned to her mom in early June. Houghton has been behind bars ever since. Yesterday, a Broward jury found him not guilty.
I felt something was wrong with my daughter.
Houghton admits he took his daughter to live in Texas and then in Kentucky, both of them under assumed names, because Houghton says he suspected the child's natural mother was neglecting her.
There's a point to where you can only take so much as a parent, seeing a child hurt. And when you don't have anywhere to go, I did reach out for help. I did. I did call. I went to HRS with my daughter, and they told me sorry.
The abuse charges were later dropped against Houghton because he and his attorney say they found evidence that police in Kentucky dummied up evidence to implicate him. Now, Houghton's just concentrating on clearing his name and seeing his daughter once again.
It's sad. It's just sad.
But you're not sorry you did it.
No, I'm not. No, I can't be sorry.
Houghton will now go back to court and fight for visitation with his daughter. Today, calls to her mother went unreturned. In Fort Lauderdale, Susan Wallace, Channel 4 News.
Charges of a possible grand theft cover-up scheme are being leveled against Southern Bell tonight by Attorney General Bob Butterworth. Butterworth claims the company knew for more than 2.5 years that it was undercutting the amount of money it pays to Florida in pay telephone commissions. Southern Bell, which is also accused of undercutting commissions in several other southeastern states, denies any wrongdoing. The company's president claims it's a computer problem. No one knows how much money Southern Bell may owe, but Butterworth believes it is in the millions.
Much more ahead tonight on Channel 4 News at 6. A cold weather rescue for endangered sea turtles. We'll check up on more than 100 taken to SeaWorld from the frigid Atlantic.
Also a special environmental report, algae farming in the Keys. Could this stuff be dinner? And live from New Orleans, the Hurricanes chase the championship. It's all ahead tonight on Channel 4 News.
Great party.
Yeah, but who's the guy with the funny ears?
Oh, that's the Mercury Cat.
Where do you want the cars, pal? Cars? He invited me to bring on the 90s, so I brought them all. Every 1990 model in stock. Cougars, Sables, Grand Marquis, even Lincoln Town cars.
Hundreds of cars.
Loads of cash back and great year-end deals.
All over the lawn?
Relax. With prices like these, they'll be gone in no time.
See your Lincoln Mercury dealer this week for a great year-end deal.
We're going somewhere for a change. It's about time they took me out. Woo, woo. Hey, these stuffed animals can do things. Oh, what's that? Whoa, what am I doing up here? Don't they know I'm afraid of heights? Yeah, lunch. Watch me get some. Wah, wah. Works every time.
Here's to the sunrise.
Here's to the evening when... A leak at a Coca-Cola bottling plant. It happened at Pembroke Road and Interstate 95. Police tell us there was apparently an explosion inside the plant, and now there's a cloud of ammonia inside. Here are some pictures now live from the scene. Workers at the plant have been evacuated. One person is reported injured. We don't know the extent of injuries. Officials tell us the ammonia is used in the bottling process. We will have further details when they become available. Steve?
Are you getting hungry? How about an algae appetizer? Yesterday, we told you about researchers in the Keys using algae to clean polluted water. Channel 4 News environmental reporter Nick Bogert says it might make a tasty dish.
Scientists at the Keys Land Trust say algae will grow here and will take harmful nutrients out of the water.
You not only are treating your wastewater, but you have a viable new industry that has come into the Florida Keys.
In the Caribbean and Orient, algae farming is a business. Algae extracts like carrageenan and agar are in lots of things we consume. Ice cream, milkshakes, cosmetics as well. Seaweed sells real swell at the sushi bar. But will there ever be an American mass market? One Keys restaurant's trying it out. 3 kinds of seaweed are occasionally worked into the menu here. A menu that describes so-called sea vegetables as the bean sprouts of the 90s. Today's seaweed specials included stir-fry, soup with sea lettuce, even tempura. And watching the customers of the 80s eat the bean sprouts of the 90s, manager Carmen Rossetti.
Well, their first reaction is, oh.
My reaction was that sea vegetables are culinary chameleons, picking up the flavors around them. Susan Quarberg agreed.
It doesn't add a whole lot of flavor to the dish, but you can kind of get the texture from it. It's good.
Ed Lemberg from Boynton had been served a surprise.
Even if it says seaweed, I love it.
It's okay.
You sound like you're describing spinach a little bit.
Well, I like spinach.
If sea vegetables are palatable, there are lots of nutritional reasons to like them.
They're low calorie, they're relatively high protein, they have high vitamin content, vitamin C, vitamin D, a variety of different vitamins.
If algae were to be the next food fad, it'd not only be good for you, but also perhaps for the Keys environment and economy. In Marathon, Nick Bogert, Channel 4 News.
A handful of cold, stunned sea turtles were plucked from the chilly waters off Cape Canaveral and rushed to SeaWorld today. Wildlife officials say the tiny sea creatures were weakened by the cold, and at least 23 sea turtles have drowned. Folks at SeaWorld hope to bring them back to health in their warm water tanks and then release them back into the wild.
Cliff is cooking up a warmer weekend for New Year's. He's next with the forecast.
And some human polar bears out for a chilly dip. It's all ahead. Woo! On Channel 4 News.
Safe. Taurus. Hot.
Teamwork. That's what we're all about at Channel 4. And at the 1989 Florida Emmy Awards, our teamwork showed as Channel 4's photographers, editors, writers, producers, and reporters were honored with 19 Emmy Awards, more than any other TV station in the state. Teamwork. That's what we're all about at Channel 4.
Hey guys, watch our teamwork.
It's the Nissan year-end clearance. Mom, I'm doing a commercial here.
I'm not here.
It's the Nissan year-end clearance.
That's the commercial?
Well, no, I was about to say that right now is the best time to buy Maxima, the most trouble-free car sold in the U.S.
Two balloons wouldn't hurt.
Or the 240SX, the affordable sports car.
Free hot dog something.
Or a brand new Nissan Stanza.
You need a clown.
I don't need a clown.
Trust me on this. I used to be in the theater.
Getting warmer, you say?
Getting warmer. Take a look. Take a look.
Is that all you want to say?
That's right. That's right. That's the message we have for you this evening. Take a look. I have some temperatures, the magical thermometers there. High temperatures for the next couple of days, well, actually 3 days through Saturday, look like that. Up close to 73 perhaps for tomorrow, Friday in the mid-70s, and who knows, we may just get crazy and get up to 77 degrees by Saturday.
All right.
Good, that would be crazy.
Yeah. All right. Right now we have partly cloudy skies throughout South Florida. Miami 65 degrees, Miami Beach is 66, Kendall 64, Fort Lauderdale 65, Pompano Beach a cool 59, and Key West 62. The barometer's steady, relative humidity 50%, winds are from the west now at 3. In the surf this afternoon at Miami Beach, the water temperature 70 degrees. Moderate air quality for Dade. Broward had a very high level of carbon monoxide. They had a 96 moderate air quality there. The record high 83. We made it to 71. Record low temperature 41. Sunrise at 7:06, and the next high tide from the Port of Miami at 7:30 p.m. Tony, watch this. This could be a Tony. Coney Island, New York. It is the Polar Bear Club. They do this every year on this date. Now, the water temperature was in the 30s. The air temperature was in the 20s. And you'd think perhaps they'd go into the water to warm up, wouldn't you? But that's not the case. Matter of fact, the water was so cold that their teeth were chattering for some of them long after they took them out. So, but it was that cold. 75 in Beeville, the warmest temperature in the nation today, and 37 below. That was the coldest temperature of the nation in Watertown, New York. Some flurries also in West Virginia and still in the Carolinas, but that will end as this warm air, the return from that high pressure, will move in and change most of that precipitation, if any, to rain. Now, for tomorrow, we're still looking for some warm air to moderate the southern part of the nation. Cold air is going to flatten out. The jet stream is flattening out, too, so we don't expect this to dip down too much for the weekend for us. 37 the high in Chicago, 32 for New York, Washington 40 degrees, Atlanta 57, and Seattle may get some clouds, perhaps a chance of rain. Partly cloudy weather for San Francisco, Los Angeles, 63. For tonight, we're looking for temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, close to 50 degrees, perhaps 53 in Key West. Tomorrow, temperatures in the low 70s. And for the 5 days ahead, a slight warming, as I showed you, up to perhaps 77 by Saturday. And we'll get into the upper 70s, let's say, for Sunday and Monday. It looks very good for 1990. Very good. So far, sunny and mild for tomorrow, warmer, high temperature, low 70s, low temperature 48 to 53, and the marine forecast shows north to northeast winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, the bay and inland waters a light chop. Tony, do you think that might be a Tony?
Yes, definitely. We'll ask Tony in just a second. Coming up in Tony Sports Live from New Orleans, the Hurricanes look for championship rings in the Cajun capital.
And junior orange bowlers, and we mean junior orange bowlers. It's all ahead on Channel 4 News at 6.
Now, for a limited time, get a guaranteed rebate at your Jeep and Eagle dealer. If the rebate increases on your eligible vehicle.
Till December 31st, visit your South Florida Volkswagen dealer for special year-end deals on select 89 models.
Tonight's Channel 4 Sports is brought to you by the Landmark, East Country Club Drive, Aventura, and by your Volkswagen dealer. Test drive Volkswagen's exciting new line of 1990 models.
Going to learn to speak Cajun before this weekend's out?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been in New Orleans so many times I can speak it. I love to eat it.
Yeah.
The jazz, I can't wait. I'm going tomorrow. The Miami Hurricanes got a taste of New Orleans today after arriving last night for next Monday's Sugar Bowl with Alabama. The Canes got down to business, doing everything from practicing to meeting the media. Channel 4 sports reporter Ned Smith is in New Orleans with the team. And Ned, how is day one going so far?
Well, you know, for my voice, it's, I was hoping that spicy food would make it a little easier. But, you know, for most of these players playing back-to-back Orange Bowls the past 2 years, they're having a hard time adjusting to knowing that they're out of town for the first time at the end of the year. But, you know, they've got places they've got to check out, and you know they will. But they've also got to get ready for a game, and that's trying to balance the best of both worlds. Think New Orleans and you think Bourbon Street, jazz and Cajun cooking. Those are just some of the distractions both Miami and Alabama have to overcome. One place to get away from it all is the practice field, in between phone calls, of course.
We get them out here between the white lines, and that's where we all make our living, and that's where we make our mark, so we're excited about it.
Both teams practiced for 2 hours today. Alabama's working out at Tulane University, while Miami is at the Saints training complex. But with the Sugar Bowl still 5 days away, it's tough to look ahead to New Year's Day.
Right now, it's hard to focus. I mean, you're just getting back from Christmas vacation, and, you know, you have the surroundings like this.
I'm still, you know, like a kid in a candy store, just, you know, all excited just to be here. But I feel like as the week goes on, I'll settle down.
The players are reminded about the game every day in press conferences, including who's favored. Miami by 9.
You know, with a team like Miami, they could beat your brains out. So, I mean, I think that helps keep us focused a pretty good bit.
So it is a hard time to focus, knowing that you can, you know, have some time to get some entertainment in, because, believe me, last night on Bourbon Street, there were players from both Alabama and Miami. Tony Segreto joins us out here tomorrow. I'll see you later on. This is Ned Smith reporting live from New Orleans, Channel 4 Sports.
Now, don't go singing at the old Absinthe House tonight on Bourbon Street. Rest the
there
voice.
There are some sights you just wouldn't
I know. Okay, Ned, thanks. Closer to home, the nation's #1 team, Colorado, is also preparing for their big bowl game with Notre Dame. The Buffaloes, you know, have never been in this situation, and this usually causes one's knees to knock, but not with this Colorado team. They are focused to win it all and are not going to let anything get in the way.
The pressure is there, but we're not going to really consider it or let it be a big factor, because we know we have talent, with just as much talent as Notre Dame, and we know we can compete with anybody in the nation.
All right, switching gears now. If you could name one thing that is different with the Miami Heat this year, what would it be? Well, I would have to say the much improved play of center Ronnie Cycli. Listen, in his last 5 games, Cycli has been a real force, scoring a season-high 30 against New Jersey. On the season, Cycli is 6th in the NBA in rebounding, pulling down an average of 10.4 boards a game. Last night against the Knicks, Cycli played one of his best games as a professional. He scored 26 points, had 11 rebounds, held one of the NBA's best, Patrick Ewing, to a season-low 11 points. But no matter how good you are one night, it's being able to do it every night that counts.
In the NBA especially, whenever you get satisfied, you're going to hit a brick wall. And that's basically what happened last year. Every time I played a good game, then I let up the next game, and it seemed like I just bounced, just like hit me in the face. I'm about 50 to 75% better than I was last year, and I know that I'm going to get better in the future.
All right, finally, there's more to bowl games than you think this week. Today marked the beginning of the Junior Orange Bowl bowling tournament, the 21st annual at the Classic Lanes. It seems like the ball is sometimes bigger than the bowler. These juniors range in age from 1 to 11 years old. The tournament runs through Friday. And that'll do it for sports. You know, you have an interest in this Colorado game, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Having attended the University of Colorado.
Well, I majored in skiing. Thanks, Tony.
Okay.
Thanks, Tony. We told you earlier about an ammonia leak at a Broward bottling plant.
Well, Beverly White is now on the scene of that Coca-Cola plant with an update. Beverly?
Yes, Susan, Steve, we are at the Coke plant on Pembroke Road in the city of Pembroke Park, where BSO and the sheriff's officials, the police departments have all come out. Apparently, all of the employees inside have been safely evacuated. Everyone has been accounted for, including the one gentleman who was burned. We don't have an identification on him, but he suffered burns on his right arm and has been transported to Hollywood Memorial Hospital. But his injuries are not too severe. It certainly could have been worse. The smell of ammonia is still very heavy in the air right now. We'll have more on this developing story tonight at 11. Right now, though, all is apparently safe and sound.
All right, we'll look for you at 11. Beverly, thanks for bringing us up to date tonight.
And that's going to do it for us. The NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw is next. We'll be back at 11.
See you then.
Super Bowl Record Book, presented by Infinity, a new concept in luxury cars.
In Super Bowl 18, Marcus Allen of the Los Angeles Raiders rushed for 191 yards. Who broke that all-time record?
Standing by with a look at what's coming up next on Channel 7 News at 6:30.
Thank you, Penny. Coming up at 6:30, a court fight over two pit bulls who savagely attacked a grandmother a year and a half ago, but the dogs have never been destroyed.
You'll hear Romanian dictator Nicolae Ceausescu denying that he was a criminal before he was executed.
And cold U.S. weather takes a terrible toll in one southern town. It's been without water now for 4 days.
Those stories and more next on Channel 7 News at 6:30.
It's big. It's now. It's Pontiac's all-out excitement closeout. Now, big cash back or 4.8% financing on Grand Prix. It won't last long. See your Pontiac excitement dealer now.
Rich and easy. Harvey's Bristol Cream.